In early 2009, some of the places I was most inspired by were these puzzly places. They'd have riddles in them that you'd have to solve. Some of them were Yorick's Resting Place and Gamer 3D's Dark Plateau. They wouldn't be easy puzzles either. They'd be these cryptic riddles you'd have to solve. I wanted to make something like that, so I created this place called Courtyard of Memories. And it was the first in a series of places that together formed what I called the Robloxian Scavenger Hunt. You'd enter Courtyard of Memories, and there would be a riddle. I believe the first riddle said something along the lines of, find the six-sided user. And you'd have to go onto the website and search for the user Hexagon, and in his profile, he would tell you that you must say his user ID in the Courtyard of Memories. And when you said his user ID, the gravestone in the Courtyard of Memories would disappear, and you could jump down the hole to go to the next area. I initially unveiled this concept to the forums, and a good number of people came to check it out. They were working together to try to solve my puzzle, and eventually they did. A good little group of people ended up solving it, and they liked it. They thought it was a cool idea. So I ended up making another game like that. I called it Cemetery of the Forgotten. It expanded upon the whole gravestone thing. It'd start with another user ID puzzle at the start, and then when you went underground, there was all these signs, and they were in wingdings, and you had to decode them. Eventually, you would reach the end of the game, and that was it. There wasn't any scavenger hunt to this one, but I wanted there to be. So even after that, I continued making more puzzle games. This time, this next project was going to be big. The Great Robloxian Scavenger Hunt. The original plan was for there to be 10 places, and they'd all be interconnected, and some hints from one place you would need to solve puzzles in the other places. It was an ambitious project, and I got a nice group of people to help out on it. Some of the users were pretty high profile at the time. I'm pretty sure at least 2 of these were forum moderators. We knew what most of the places were going to be, too. The game would start in a new version of Cemetery of the Forgotten. There would also be a library, the Pondering Forest, this lab maze called Colorblind.executable that was made by Sam Mikado. There was a canyon. Sonic Boy was working on a place called Mount Zeta. And that's all I can remember right now. And, you know, at least like 4 or 5 of these places did get somewhere. Like, they did get to the point where you could call them a place. Like, you would go to the library and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely a library. But none of them were ever completed, which is unfortunate, because I thought it was a cool project, and I kind of wish it did see completion. I even had a WordPress blog tracking the development of the project, but a few years ago I took it down. This was my first real collaboration on Roblox, and it opened my eyes to a big issue with doing them. It's hard to organize people and keep them all motivated to stay with a project. People work at different paces too. And what sort of ended up happening with the GRSH was just a lack of planning. We knew we wanted to make this interconnected puzzle game, but we weren't really sure how the puzzles were going to work. And no blueprints were made beforehand to connect these places, which, if I made this game now, I'd definitely do. In the end, I did pick up the scraps of the ideas I did have and implemented them into a new version of Cemetery of Forgotten. This second version did eventually end up coming out. It's the one that most people know of today. This version is standalone and doesn't have any cryptic riddles that require you to peruse the Roblox website. And honestly, I think that's a better way of going about making puzzles. These old riddles I did, they were hard. A lot of people couldn't figure them out. and there was sort of a weird logic to it. Ultimately, I don't think I'd make another scavenger hunt quite like this, but another puzzle game where there's multiple places and puzzles that stretch across those multiple places, I could get behind that idea. It just won't be happening soon. The GRSH was one of my most memorable game projects on Roblox, and I'm glad today I could share it with you.
Bad graphics.